Hey gardening friends, ready to grow healthier plants, bigger harvests, and smarter gardens? Let's get started.
What if the small piece of ginger sitting in your kitchen drawer right now was never meant to be thrown away, but planted? What if that $2 chunk could quietly turn into a year of fresh ginger without you spending another dollar at the store? Welcome back to The Smart Gardener. And if you have not subscribed yet, now is a perfect moment to join us, because what I am about to share today might change the way you shop for spices forever. Every year, the price of ginger at the grocery store creeps a little higher. You buy a small piece, use a bit for a stir-fry, a bit for tea, and within a week, the rest has dried out and gone to waste in the back of your refrigerator. Then next month, you are back at the store, paying full price all over again. But here is the truth. Almost nobody tells you. That same small piece, the one sitting in your kitchen right now, can become 1 to 2 pounds of fresh ginger, grown right in a pot on your own porch or windowsill. Today, I am going to show you exactly how to do it the right way. Starting with the one mistake that stops most people from ever seeing a single sprout. Before we plant anything, let me tell you something that will completely change how you look at that knobby piece of ginger. What you are holding is not actually a root at all. It is something called a rhizome, a thick underground stem that grows sideways rather than down. That single fact changes everything about how you should plant it. Instead of a deep, narrow pot, you need something wide and shallow, because ginger wants room to spread, not room to dive. Now, here's the part that trips up almost everyone. Most ordinary grocery store ginger has been treated with a sprout inhibitor, a chemical used to keep it from sprouting on the shelf so it lasts longer in transit. That is exactly why so many people plant a piece, wait patiently, and never see a single shoot. The fix is simple. Soak your ginger in warm water overnight before planting to help wash away that coating. Or better yet, look for organic ginger or a piece from your local farmer's market, where the odds of sprouting are much higher. And if you want to go further, know this. Common yellow ginger is the easiest for beginners. Baby ginger can be harvested sooner for tea, and a rare blue-tinged variety offers a bolder flavor for the more adventurous grower. Now that you understand what you are actually working with, let's talk about giving it the right home, because this single step quietly determines everything that follows. It decides whether you end up with a sad, shriveled handful of ginger by fall, or a generous, knotted cluster heavy enough to fill a jar. So do not rush past it. Choose a container that is at least 12 inches wide. And if you can find something wider, even better, because ginger does not grow like most plants you are used to. It does not reach downward in search of depth. It spreads sideways, slowly claiming more and more space just beneath the surface. So width is the one thing you cannot compromise on. Fill that container with loose, rich soil, the kind that feels almost crumbly in your hand. Heavy on compost or other organic matter, with drainage holes at the bottom, so water always has somewhere to go and never sits there turning stagnant and sour. Before you even think about planting, set your piece of ginger on the kitchen counter and let the cut surface rest there for a day or two. This allows it to callus over naturally, forming a kind of protective seal that helps prevent rot once it finally meets the moist soil. When that is done, lay the rhizome flat on its side, eyes facing upward toward the light, and cover it gently with no more than an inch of soil, just enough to tuck it in. Water it lightly, almost sparingly, because at this early stage, the rhizome has no roots yet to drink with. And too much moisture now is the fastest, quietest way to lose the whole thing before it ever gets a chance to begin. Now, once those first green shoots finally break through the surface and the plant starts climbing upward, here is a trick that most home gardeners never learn, the kind of detail that separates a decent harvest from a truly generous one. Just like hilling a potato in early summer, gradually mound fresh soil around the base of the plant as new growth appears, gently covering the young, tender rhizomes pushing up near the surface. This one quiet habit alone encourages the plant to produce significantly more ginger underground than it otherwise would. Keep the whole setup warm, somewhere between 70 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit, resting in dappled shade rather than harsh. Direct sun, and lay down a couple of inches of mulch on top to hold moisture steady and even between waterings. Now, before you get too far into this journey, there are a couple of things worth knowing, because they quietly make the difference between a thriving plant and a disappointing one, and most beginners never hear either of them until it is already too late. The first has to do with where you actually live. If you are somewhere warm, like Florida or the deep south, your ginger can comfortably stay outside year-round without much worry at all, soaking up the heat and humidity it naturally craves. But if you are anywhere else in the country, which honestly describes most of us, plan on bringing that container indoors before the first real cold snap of fall arrives. Do not wait until the forecast looks threatening, because even a single light frost overnight can quietly end the whole project before you ever get to see what it could have become. There is also a second, quieter warning sign that every grower should learn to recognize early, because by the time it becomes obvious, the damage is usually already done. If the lower leaves start turning yellow first, and slowly working their way upward, and the rhizome underneath feels soft, mushy, or gives off a faint foul smell when you check it, that is rot setting in, and it is almost always caused by soil that has stayed too wet for too long. The good news is that the fix is refreshingly simple: good drainage from the very start, and resisting the very human urge to overwater, especially during those early weeks before the plant has grown enough roots to actually use that moisture. Now, when it comes time to finally harvest, you actually have two different paths you can take, and neither one is wrong. The first is the gentle, patient approach, where once your plant is well established, you can reach into the soil every few weeks, break off just a piece for the kitchen, and let the rest of the plant keep right on growing undisturbed. The second is the full harvest, where after 8 to 10 months, once the leaves begin to yellow and the whole plant starts settling into dormancy, you pull the entire clump up at once. From there, the process is simple. Slice it thin, let it dry completely until each piece snaps cleanly in your hand, then grind it down into a fine powder, giving you enough fresh, homegrown ginger to last a full year from a single, patient harvest. Take a moment and look at what we just walked through together. A small piece of ginger, the kind most people toss without a second thought, soaked overnight, planted in a wide, shallow pot, given a few months of patience and the right care, and turned into a year's worth of fresh ginger, with enough left over to start the whole cycle again next season. That is not a one-time trick. That is a habit, and every season you repeat it, the savings simply keep adding up, season after season, year after year, while the grocery store shelf becomes a place you rarely need to visit anymore. So here is what I want you to do. This week, take a look at the ginger already sitting in your kitchen, or pick up a fresh piece on your next trip out, and give it a chance to become something more. Tell me in the comments, have you ever grown your own ginger before, or is there a family recipe passed down that uses it? A tea, a remedy, something worth remembering? I would love to hear it. And if this helped you see your kitchen a little differently today, subscribe to The Smart Gardener, because there is always more of the old, patient wisdom worth sharing, one season at a time.